What's up guys, your boy Anri from True Social Attraction, and I have here
Arthur.
Exactly, in this video I'm going to talk about NOFAP. Is fapping good for you? Is porn good for you? Well, we're gonna all find it out today in this epic interview, but first, good epic intro! So guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new on this channel, please like this video already and subscribe to this channel because there are coming some epic video in this future. And don't forget, we are still in Chiang Mai. There's some plays coming over to your head, so sometimes you have to scream a little bit harder so you can understand us. Otherwise you won't understand us anything. So I'm gonna scream till this plane is coming over. So we gotta have this interview with Epic Arthur. So you gotta fucking like it and talk about NOFAP. Alright, so let's get back to today's content. Arthur, thanks for having me, having you on my channel. And yeah, we talked about, we had this click, we meet each other like 1 week ago on like a digital nomad summit, like digital entrepreneurs, and I fucking hate this word. Anyway, we spoke to each other and with this click instantly because we are both like, our passion is to talk, is to know more about the psychology, about games, sales, marketing, everything actually. And yeah, he's pretty good at seducing women, so I was pretty interested in this guy. So I asked, like, let's do a fucking interview. So he said, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So talk about a little bit about you, or like,
okay.
About
Right. So yeah, we obviously want to dive into NoFap, and I'm gonna start with talking a little bit about me. So I have a website called Improvement. So this covers everything about like self-development advice, self-help advice, and dating advice. And we talk about stuff like you talk about as well. We have our own unique take on that. And we also talk about how to not jerk off too much.
That's awesome. The link's going to be here down below. So if you want to know more, check the link below. Yeah.
So I just really quickly about me. I've, you know, like everyone kind of started really chowdy, couldn't really get laid, get girls, was really frustrated, stuff like that. Got some like a girlfriend miraculously somehow. And
What age?
Like first time I lost my virginity when I was 21.
Alright, wow. That's a chill number.
That's embarrassing, goddamn. Yeah, but you know, and it was actually most people say they come too fast. For me, it was like the other way around. I just couldn't finish. I was like banging this girl for hours and hours.
Holy shit!
And like then I fell asleep. I was like, why? It's not as good as I imagined it to be.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I asked this question to a lot of other guys, like, how was your first sex? And like watching all those porn, it's gonna be epic. But like, watch so much porn and having sex for the first time, and it's like, what? This is it?
Yeah, right. And that's a really good segue to our topic, by the way. But let me just finish on this first time. So I had the first time. I'm like, it's gonna be like, I just like prepared the freaking candles, the wine. I even like wanted to get stoned as well, so I got a little joint going on. And this girl came in, and you know, just all this expectation, the build up, and eventually it happens. I'm like looking at her vagina, it's like 3D. I'm like, what the fuck? Normally it's on my screen. So that's really like, you know, in a way it's good, but in the same time it was like almost too real. Like my mind was conditioned to two-dimensional vaginas. Anyway, so we're doing it, and it's like takes me forever, and I'm banging her and begging her, and then like I fell asleep, couldn't finish, and then after that we woke up, and then we continued, and eventually I finished. I'm like, yes, finally, I've done it. I call my friends like, dude, I've done it.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, it was definitely not what I expected, but obviously I was happy to, you know, lose the virus of virginity, because this is like a thing that every guy wants to get rid of. So at the age of 21, finally got past it. But anyway, so you know, that got me started. Like the breakups happened, and like had another girlfriend. She kind of messed me up, because the breakups are usually a good entry point for this whole self-development dating a journey. So I started that, and eventually, you know, got myself a website of my own called Improvement, which we already covered. That it's gonna be in the bio. Bro.
Yeah,
and we're gonna, and I explored all those topics on dating, self-development, getting better habits, getting rid of shitty habits, and today we're gonna talk about one of the habits that I believe is really detrimental for men. It's like a secret killer. It's a ninja that's gonna, you know, kill you in your sleep.
Crazy,
so.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, we already announced it. We're gonna talk about NOFAP, like jerking off, fapping, I don't know, like watching a lot of porn. Of course, we all watched porn. I began like very early doing that.
Yeah.
Like most of the guys like starting very, very early doing like watching porn right now. And I don't think when you're like 11, 12, 13 that you watch porn, I don't think that's really bad.
When you're 11, 12, 13?
Yeah.
13, sorry.
Yeah, for your sexual irritation or something. I don't know.
You think it's okay?
I think it's gonna be okay.
Okay.
But I'm very, very excited to hear your opinions about it because I don't talk a lot about NoFap in my channel. This is actually the first video where you're going to talk about NoFap. I'm doing NoFap for a long time already, and it started all with flakes. You know, I started like 2.5 years ago. I started to hear about NoFap. Like in the beginning, I was like 10 days NoFap, and then like start to fap again, and then I get like 30 days NoFap, then I start to fap again, and like all those waves, and in the end, I finally do NoFap. And how did you come in? Like, it's a natural thing to start fapping. We see porno, we're a fucking man, we get fucking horny as fuck when we see it. So when did you heard about NoFap, and what did you think about it?
Yeah. Okay, so I think for me, I'm 29 now. So I think I heard about it the first time 2013.
Alright.
Okay, and I always knew like deep inside that this whole idea of like walking off to like porn every day, because that was like a daily thing for me, you know, something that you can fall asleep to, something that you can like wake up to, it's just so universal. And I was like, it doesn't like, it feels great when you do it, but after that there's this like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
So that's what I had, and I discovered it in 2014, and it was mostly after my breakup with like the second serious girlfriend, because I was like, the breakup happened because I was basically very numb to her, and I think that was because of porn.
Numb? What do you mean with numb?
Like basically, you know, I had her, but I didn't really appreciate her. Like we would have sex, it was like I was always like pushing to have sex with her.
Alright.
Like I was pushing like, because I was in a way in the mindset of like trying to reenact porn stuff, you know? It's just totally fine if a girl's into it, but I was like needy for sex with her.
I help guys with that as well. It's like step by step. You have to do that, like doing crazy cosplay things, like crazy roleplay things.
Yeah, that can work, but it was just not the right time. I didn't like feel into the situation properly. But anyway, so we broke up. I was kind of numb to her in a way that I was not really grateful, and I was like kind of like, whatever, I have a girlfriend. So she eventually, you know, was like, fuck off. And this is where I was like, oh baby. But anyway, so this made me think, because this pain, you know, of rejection, and made me think like, what can I change in my life that could be helpful? And then the first time, NoFap for 7 days, I think, and I had some sort of like Satori experience when I was like walking around and just like, wow.
Like I heard 7 days is also like the time when like is the most epic time for NoFap, the 7th day, because I don't know, like certain hormones and testosterone is like most pumped up, and girls are gonna smell it. I think it's something from nature, you know, like men are on this planet to spread our seed to survive. And this universe, when you understand the universe more, is going to give you everything you need way better if you work with it. And like when you don't have sex or like didn't jerk off for 7 days, and like there's some smell in the air, and just women smell it.
Yeah, definitely there's like that's part of it. So if you want to get a little bit more scientific about it, then I think they did an experiment that your testosterone levels after about 7 days, depends on the man, but around 7 days on average, goes like 47% up.
Holy shit.
So it's like you got this testosterone boost. So you go like, whoa, you know, like fucking hunt for food, just fuck bitches, aggressive, and it can be a good thing if you can like properly channel this aggression.
Exactly. Like most of the men who have this horny or like testosterone boost or aggressive boost, like they put it in their dick, you know, and they put it out with jerking off. So like all this testosterone would just go out of your body, but you have to get it. Time in this in your dick to put it in your fucking head, and to get fucking the best out of your work, or to get best out of your life.
Yeah, so that's the transmutation of it, right? So you have this whole energy like kind of pent up here. Once you kind of learn how to work with it, then you can like transmute it, put it into your career, your work, your finances, just overall understanding of your life and how all those different intricate elements come together, and you can improve every area much easier because you have yeah, you're just like more conscious of everything. It's just everything just flows nicely. So I know everyone's probably super interested. How does it translate to getting better with girls? Because this is a channel about that, right?
That's
Mostly.
totally true. That's totally true.
So let's just dive into this. In my opinion, that's probably the best motivation at first, where you kind of realize how like your fupping habits are literally stopping you from getting a real pussy. You know?
First. Good. You heard it well.
Yeah, so because first, like imagine if you're like a, you know, in a way we're all animals, right? We're all like have hormones that are motivating us to do different things, like testosterone would be one. But the moment you like constantly indulge in porn and fapping, and you're always giving yourself that fake stimulation from fake pixels on the screen, at the end of the day you're like fertilizing a fucking screen.
Yeah,
Then,
you should record yourself while fapping, right?
Yeah, just imagine someone like looking at you. It's like, is that cool? You're like a cock, right? Like a cockhole.
Just so bad.
Just like looking at a dude, fucking like if it was real life.
Holy shit.
Like imagine a dude here banging a girl that you like. She's like, she's oh so fucking hot, and the guy's fucking her, and you're like, fuck yeah.
All right, stop. I don't want to imagine that.
Okay, so but I just wanted to give you the proper image of what it's like in reality. But it's became so accepted that we don't think about it in those terms, right? So once you condition yourself on that, it's a lot. I mean, we're talking like hardcore addiction, like once a day at least, especially. So then when you go out and talk to girls, it's kind of hard to motivate yourself to do it, because like in the same time, like if you have meal, if you're full of like shitty calories like McDonald's, you're not gonna go out try to get real food. You know what I'm saying? Like porn is like McDonald's of like sexuality.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a shitty calories, right?
Yeah.
I mean, fapping itself is not too bad, but porn and fapping became really closely tied. So it's really hard to do one without the other at this point. And once you get rid of this like one-click sort of dopamine boost that you give yourself, rewarding yourself for doing literally nothing most of the time, then what you're left with is that you're literally either gonna be fucking frustrated and pissed off and just like want to jerk off, or you go out and are forced to, like by nature, biologically, you're forced to actually work on yourself, on your skills to get better with girls. Like that's usually the first motivation, and you have like this extra like level of resourcefulness. You have more energy, your interactions flow better. For some reason, you could never touch a girl, or like, oh my god, she's gonna like freak out. All of a sudden, like you're touching her because like it just feels so primal and natural. Like you just tap into those natural resources that you didn't have access to because you were constantly wasting them on fake pixels in the screen.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing I want to add to that is, you know, we are men. We have some levels of testosterone, and when you're gonna watch porn, like even not about porn, like when you the first time with a girl, your testosterone is super high. You know, when you come, you have a lot of seed coming out, and just your testosterone, you're fucking super horny, and testosterone is high. And the longer you're staying with a girl, the less testosterone you get, the less sperm is coming out from your dick, and just the less excited you're gonna be. So that's also the reason why long relationships with like one partner, you don't see any other partners, like all those testosterone, all those masculinity, and all this femininity is gone. But yeah, to fap, what I want to say with fap is like when you watch porn, for your brain brain doesn't make any difference between real sex and watching porn. So when you come on porn, you already can stripe off something else from this list, you know, like on porn, on I don't know what, any porn site, we can watch whatever we want, crazy fetishes, crazy fucking, put fucking 15 dildos in your ass and then put your dick in your mouth. I don't know how crazy your fantasizations are, but your brain sees this as real sex, and like the first time your testosterone is high as fuck, But the more and more you're gonna see from that, the less testosterone you get. So the more porn you're gonna watch, and if you want to be with the girl as well, your testosterone is already like way lower than it should be. So it's way less exciting for you and way less exciting for her as well. That's something I just want to add.
Yeah, can I just throw a little caveat that the hormone I think you meant was the dopamine. The dopamine is the pleasure center.
Yeah, yeah.
That is basically a natural reward for all the evolutionarily useful things. So you get dopamine from eating, you get dopamine from banging girls and stuff like that.
Just small things. If you have a like on your Instagram, dopamine goes up
as well. Yeah,
just a rewarding system
even
from your body.
Smoking as well, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like a cheat code, right? You found a cheat code. You can circumvent the whole process of hard process of actually going out there and like getting social and talking to girls, and it's pretty complicated. Or you can just have unlimited like pleasure with the touch of a button. So usually people tend to choose the path of least resistance. And that's why everyone kind of gets hooked on porn from a very early stage. And then it became socially accepted. And then people are like, oh, I don't know why I'm depressed. Oh my God, I don't get right. Oh my God,
Yeah.
So if you remove this one variable for 7 days and like, have like an open mind and test the hypothesis, so to speak.
Do you have any tips for them to make them easier?
Well, first you want to understand how this whole psychology of addiction works. So you may want to like put in your mind, like this could be like an introductory video. And then if you want to take it deeper, make sure you learn how your brain actually, receives the dopamine and how it's fucking you up. So that's like the first theoretical step. 7 days. Well, if you want to just go for 7 days just to have a sample of how it would feel like over the long term.
It's crazy, guys. If you never did it before, you should.
Yeah. For me, like the whole path of self-development, self-improvement. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have my website. I wouldn't be here. Let's start with that, right?
Yeah, well.
That's a pretty. So like, let's say you're in a job, maybe you don't enjoy, and you're like, you want every possible edge you can get to have this every bit of energy that you can transmute and put into getting out of the situation. NOFAP is the very starting point you should definitely get onto. So yeah, for me it was meditation and NOFAP. Those two things were the starting point. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. So some practical tips. Well, first understanding how it works, how your brain works. And second would be, well, 7 days is not that long. So I think you should just maybe, if you constantly tempted, just remove get the porn blocker thing. So at least like,
oh, there is a porn blocker?
Yeah, like Chrome extension has a porn blocker, the Android has a porn blocker. So this helps in, like, I know you can say, well, I can always remove the porn blocker and just FAP, right? But the thing is that usually when you do make the decision to go for it, it's usually sort of like a reaction, like you have the urge and you're like, oh man, I just want to like get it out. So you have this unconscious sort of reaction that you just compulsively go for, and usually there's no space in between. But once you introduce like even like 10 seconds where you have time to kind of like, whoa, but wait, I made a decision that I don't want to, and like this bad things happen, and that, all those bad things are like, your brain is like, oh, it's just one FAP. But in reality, your brain doesn't tell you the whole story. It's like there's more likelihood of depression, being worse with girls, like being less motivated, all those other things that your brain doesn't tell you in the moment that you're only hearing. If you could translate that, if you can translate the feeling in your balls into words, it would be like, fucking would feel great right now. And that's it, right? You don't see the whole picture. So remember, like, be mindful. Once you get all those porn blockers, you will have more time to actually logically think through that. And yeah, that's just if you go for 7 days. There's other strategies. It's a little bit more complicated if we want to go for longer periods of time, but I think it's beyond the scope of this video because it's,
we got the basics.
Only so much time. So if you want more, then obviously, go on my website. We have a lot of resources. And yeah, if it works for you, this is gonna definitely like change your mind, change your life. And it's not gonna be like this quick thing, because usually like you go 7 days and you're like, oh, you all charged up and you end up fapping. But you had that little taste. and this taste is all it takes to motivate you to go longer, and then longer and longer and longer until you never, like, you don't need it. You're free from that attachment to, you know, self-pleasure, and you're more likely to actually go out and implement all of the advice Anri gives you, and it's going to be actually easier.
All right, so what you're telling is that the 7 days to quit NoFap is actually pretty easy if you just have the right mindset for it. Just gonna try it out, and you're gonna realize how much it actually works with almost every aspect in life. To go to the gym, you get all this motivation, and we are built to do things for motivation, so that's a really important thing to have in your life. Alright, so NoFap's bad, so like he's telling you like watching porn is the worst thing. Like fapping only is it's not the worst thing you can do, but if you want to start doing NoFap, it's really important to start doing NoFap like straight, because your brain is still connecting that porn if you're gonna jerk off. So yeah, don't watch porn and don't jerk off like straight. That's
so yeah, my point is that you could be like, okay, well, maybe I can just not watch porn and fap. But the thing is, I've tried it, and I've spoke to a lot of people who tried to do it like that, and because the association between porn and fapping is so strong that eventually it's slowly gonna be like, just a little peak of an ass, like just gonna fap to that, and then just maybe like bikini girls, and then maybe cam girls, and then you know, girls getting like pounded by 50 dicks. It's just like a slippery slope. You know what I'm saying? So don't get like, there's common traps that you think like your mind is gonna lie to you. Your mind is gonna be like, hey, it's all right, man. Just have a look. I know you said you're not gonna fap, but you know, we're just gonna have a look a little bit. Just a cleavage, That's all we want. But then you just like do the cleavage, then you know, boobs, and like it just. I've went through all those traps, and that's why, you know, you said you did 7 days and then you fell, and then you did like 30 days and you fell, and then eventually. It's not a very straightforward process. It's very, very unlikely that you're gonna go like from fapping every day to like a NoFap master level like 9,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, don't. That's, by the way, that's a very important point. Don't get hard on yourself. If you decide to embark on that story, be very patient with yourself. If you end up fapping and you're like, God damn it, I'm so stupid. I shouldn't now fap. This guy said it's like really bad for me. That's also not good for you. Like you're like, okay, you know, it's just like I reached a new milestone.
Embrace it.
Like embrace it. Don't feel guilty about it at all. It's just, it's normal. It's actually.
We are human. We're fucking conditioned to do all those things we're doing. So yeah, don't be hard on yourself in the beginning.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's my take. You have any other questions? You think your viewers might?
I think this was a really good introduction for NoFap, like why it's bad and everything. So yeah, for more advanced stuff, maybe we're gonna do an interview later, or you can check out his link on this beneath this video. So yeah, that was it for my side. Like, do you want to add something, a little bit more value? Is it something you want to share? Last words to my fellow followers?
Yeah, well, all I could say is that, you know, if you like, you should ask yourself, do you like, what's your current porn habits? And be honest about it. If it's like every day and you use porn as self-medication when you're sad, when you're, you know, you maybe even went out, tried to practice a little bit of game, and then you didn't get laid, and you come back home and fap. Like, all those little things, like, you should ask yourself, is this productive? Is it actually moving you further, or taking you away from where you want to be in life?
Exactly.
And once you make that decision, then, you know, make the commitment. For the first 7 days, if you can make it, just give yourself a pat on the back, and then if you want longer, then I guess you could go to my website and we'll talk about it.
That's a good thing, bro. Yeah, something about habits. Thank you so much for having me. Last thing about habits, you know, think about it. If you want to start something new, think about it. Is this something I will can do the rest of my life, and is it benefiting from all my goals? Or is it just something that I can do this like right now and maybe I will stop later because it's bad? Always think about if you want to start something new, or if you want to start to do something, or you want to finish your bad habits, think about, is this step a good thing to achieving my goals, and is it something I can do for the rest of my life? So yes, please do it, guys. Thanks so much for having you on my channel again, Arthur. was a pretty epic interview. I pretty liked all the value you gave to us.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you love this video as well, like this video, subscribe and don't forget to turn the notification bell. And if you like to see what the heck I'm doing in my free time, follow me on Instagram as well. Where can people find you on Instagram or social media?
So I have my own personal Instagram. It's Artur, A-R-T-U-R, .himself.
I'm gonna put a link here in the description as well. So if you want to follow him, get on the description, check out how his epic life is. We're in Chiang Mai, it's pretty fucking lit. So yeah guys, if you have the feeling that you are working so hard that your social life just sucks, that you want to have more abundance in your life with high quality women, and you don't know what to do because you're working so hard, and if you're not hating yourself right now, you're gonna hate yourself, because social relationships like love life is something really important. It's the two of the four most important things in our life. So if you need some help with that, just comment on this channel, DM me on Facebook, Instagram, email me, whatever you want, contact with me. And if you are like, if you don't know what to say sometimes to girls, I have a cheat sheet for you with 36 sentences ready to use to always know what to say. So again, thank you for watching again, and I will see you later guys. Peace out.